Imagine what the child is, you're asking the child today, what did you do in school? The child will say nothing, right? That is the first clue for you.
Main thing what we always say is like, what others will think, what will my relatives think if I say my child is dyslexic. In India particularly, there's
Yes.
a lot of
Yes.
concern about what others think rather than what we live our life.
I think 90% of the time, dyslexia, ADHD, these conditions are genetic. The 10% are medical. I'm not a medical person, but from the amount of reading I have done and these last 15, 16 years of working with children and parents, dyslexia or specific learning disorder as we call it now runs in families. So even if it's missed a generation, it will show up in the next. So first understand, we have given it to them. They were born with it. And it is a disorder, it is a condition. It's not going to go away. And it is not a disease and it is not a disability. What will other people think is a very major thing in our society. And especially it falls on the woman most of the time. The mother carries the burden. It's very unfair. But the only way I can say, or I can tell other parents to fight against it, is unless we stand as a role model for the child is going to be persecuted for life. Because the child is going to be 4 years, 5 years. What does the child know? Child can't express, it can only say what it cannot do. But what is happening inside itself is going to have a difficult time to articulate. Now, as a parent, it is our job to first understand. Now, for me to understand that condition, I have to read about it. And the first thing that says is, dyslexia has nothing to do with intelligence. Because the child has average to above average intelligence. Intelligence like me, I'm not dyslexic. So, intelligence is not the problem here. The problem is, with that intelligence, the child is not able to read, write, do maths and other things like that, right? So what should I do? The child is not dumb. I must stand up and help this child. Because if the parent, the mother or the father don't model, the child is not going to grow up into a confident adult. So the child can't write. Okay, we'll give you help, we'll give you remediation techniques. Until that sort of takes you forward, you can always listen. Somebody will read to you. Take oral answers. You have to find so many ways and means to prop up this child's confidence. And the moment the child finds success in non-academic stuff, the academics will automatically improve. So usually dyslexic will peak in at least 2 areas, which are non-academic. Because we are looking at dyslexic strengths. They will have strengths because dyslexics think in big picture, they think in images. So, and they are thinking in image people, looking at big picture people. So they may be good in sport, they may be good in art. When I say art can also be cooking, anything that is creative, not just dance and singing, anything creative.
When others question you, your child is not doing well, what is going to happen to the future of your child, and what is going to happen when the child is going to get married, how will you disclose this to your in-laws? The child is not able to read and write, what will happen to their career, life and all? Those questions, I think so everyone would ask. In that state or that state of mind, what would be your answers and what would be your doubts after listening to such statements? Is there any doubt?
No, I think actually it's a very important question. It is something that I always get asked. So first thing is, if you accept your child unconditionally, because dyslexia is not going to go away. What are you doing? When the child is very small, you're giving the tools to the child to navigate school. The child is not, again, stupid. The child is going to pick up that, and by the time they are 13, 14, they figure it out. They start adapting. They will use the tool to adapt to their abilities. So they know what they are doing. That is provided you give them confidence, you're standing behind them. Right? You can't just say, oh, my daughter is going to this A, B, C school, which is actually an open school. Okay, I don't want to tell that to the other people. So I will say my daughter is going to a very popular CBSE school. What are you telling your child? So the child senses that my mother is ashamed of me. Now when that is the signal, as a parent you are giving your child, forget about the rest of the world. It has to come from home. If we do that, then what the rest of the people around you say doesn't matter. Because the child is going to say by the time they finish school, yes, I'm dyslexic, right? I have got these accommodations. My daughter now says, if you want me to answer this right away, read it out to me, explain it to me, I'll give you an answer. Otherwise, you have to give me time to read. I'm dyslexic. Now to reach that, it will not come in one day. From when they are 5-6 years old, you have to keep giving them the confidence. That confidence will come only when you are confident. And like she's 23, I suppose in another couple of years she'll also get married. And I feel marriage is, whether it is arranged by the parents or whether they find a partner for themselves, is one of the most intimate relationships. And if there is no honesty in that relationship, it's going to fall apart. If not immediately, in the future. And I think it is a disservice to the partner. And if you're not ashamed, and look, if you're open about it, if the partner does not want to get into a relationship with you, it is fine. It is okay. Because you're getting into it with an open mind. And it is not a disease, it is not a disability. It is neurodiversity, which means the brain's way of thinking in a different, and this is not being polite or politically correct. This is proven, scientifically proven. You can just read up reams and reams of material on it. And some of the most, in fact, LinkedIn also has a tab, right? Dyslexic thinking. Now, and I think there is also, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, there is a architecture firm in the UK which takes in only dyslexics.
Wow.
Right? Because they want people to, because they are thinking in images. They are thinking in images is a simplest way of saying it, but they are thinking, their mind is able to, actually I can say in 3D, in a simplest
3D vision.
3D vision. Okay, so when I think you should be open about it, and we have to normalize dyslexia. See, when I talk about dyslexia, people still talk about Tare Zameen Par. What, it's 15-20 years since the movie?
20 years.
That's all we talk about. Still that movie, nobody's done anything in between. So that shows the state of affairs we are in, right? That your reference point is still Tare Zameen Par. And I'm sure many people in the arts industry, in films and theatre, are dyslexic.
Download the DLearners Parent app now.